Hey guys, what's up? It's Rob. It is Friday night. At least here where I'm at, it's Friday night. We're here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm gonna flip the camera around and show everybody. This is the Phoenix, soon-to-be City Fam chapter. So I'm gonna. Why don't you take my seat, Nicole, and I'll sit here. Okay. Think I could get you to hold the camera? Let's see. All right. So let's flip the camera around. Perfect. Great. Oh, hold on. There we go. All right. Great. Let's talk about sex. All right. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. That was really awkward, honestly, for me to listen to y'all ask those questions. And Rob says that this is awkward. But it was cool. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. So let's talk about it. What do y'all want to? Does anybody want to throw out some questions first? You asked a question earlier about what you guys do, and basically if they like you, or if they want to take it to that level. Like for me, honestly, the line in the sand is marriage. It's hard. It's as crazy as it sounds, because it sounds extreme, right? To say I'm not having sex till marriage, versus like commitment or love or whatever. But at the end of the day, and I talk about the book, the heart's deceitful, right? That's what the word says. The heart's deceitful above all. So I could convince myself of believing that I'm in love, to give my flesh what it wants. I could do it. Trust me. I've had long periods of abstinence, and I was depressed and horny and lonely, and there were girls that were good looking that I could have been like, maybe I do love her, in order to give my flesh what it was really wanting. But at the end of the day, would I sign the marriage contract? Have it? Because in the Bible, sex was marriage. It's like, if you sleep with her, she's yours. That's what I thought. So, if I was to say, Lisa, I love you. Let's have sex. And she said, I love you too, Rob. Let's go to the justice of the peace real quick first. Think about that a little bit. Right? Yes. That's the point. Because we know it's going to cause us pain. So we evaluate to see if we're really following ourselves. So we don't get into something complicated. And then waste years of our lives with one person, or maybe our whole life. So just to be clear, you're saying I got it. Remember what I'm saying? Yeah. And for me, again, it's a very selfish decision, because it's like, not only am I going to be a better person, like a better version of myself, if I waited, it's already happened. I used that energy to work on myself, because I had to do something with it. But also, I believe that when you choose the right person, you have that deep connection. By waiting, you figure out if you have a deep connection. And then I believe you'll end up having more sex in the long run, because now you're with some. Because I've been with really pretty girls that I dated, and after not too long, I didn't even want to have sex with them. It didn't even matter how good they looked. I just would rather have gone to sleep, because we didn't have a deep connection. We had sex early, and then I was wrapped up in something complicated. And the next thing you know, my first girlfriend, 5 years went by, and I was definitely not in love, but I was stuck in something because I took the sex early and got caught in the sex trap.
I just want to add to what you're saying. It sparked something in me. It's a terrible feeling when you're laying in bed after sex or during. You're there, you're with somebody, and yet you feel 100% alone. Yeah. And so, had I thought about that before, maybe I wouldn't have made those mistakes or gone down that road.
Yeah, it's great. Love it.
It's an empty feeling.
It is.
Another question.
Sure.
So, what do you do when you're like in that withdrawal stage and those like overbearing urges just consume?
Oh, what stage?
The withdrawal stage.
Oh, the withdrawal stage.
And that's what I'm going through. Like I'm literally having like withdrawals.
Yeah, I hear you.
What do you do to stop that? Because it's so overbearing. Like, what happens to combat?
I mean, community to me is the best thing. Is cultivating a community of people, platonic friendships, because you need that like air when you're waiting. So you just gotta have things to do, people to do them with. Because if you're sitting around bored, like lonely, then that's a recipe for disaster. Because you'll only wait up and live for so long. Eventually, you'll just cave, or you'll do something else to escape reality. Because your reality is not good, right? So I firmly believe, you know, community is the answer to the opioid epidemic. I do. I believe those people are escaping reality because they have great connections. So I would say cultivate a great community of people, which again is going to require sacrifice on your part if you want real friends, not just party friends. I was sorry, I'm not probably with the word a couple times, but I was very popular at one time. I was maybe the most popular person in my town. The shit hit the fan in my life, and I realized I didn't really have friends. I thought I had a ton of friends. I had people I could party with. And when it wasn't fun anymore, they weren't there. They were gone because, you know, we were all only there for fun. So if you want to cultivate great friendships, it's going to require you to make sacrifices for them and them to make sacrifices for you, which is really why I love sitting down. It's not about, yes, we're going to have fun together, we're going to have a great time, but also when it's hard, we're also going to be there for each other. You know, if somebody's moving or sick, we're going to show up. And that really is what life is rich. So I would say cultivate great friendships and, you know, be willing to go to bed depressed, you know, hit the reset button, which is I've been lots of times, because you go to bed and you wake up feeling completely different, usually. You know what I mean? Work out helps with the endorphins and all that, but definitely, I write about it in the book. For me, it was like going through withdrawal to a drug. You know, like literally felt like that. You know, so I feel your pain, but it gets easier over time for sure. It doesn't get easy, but it's easier.
Who's next?
Masturbation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just kidding.
Well, thank you.
I mean, my feelings are, I feel like it's basically a selfish act because you're satisfying yourself.
What you need, babe?
There's so much out there, almost like with the, just it's okay to have sex with anybody. They act like it's just a normal thing and you need to know what your body is and everything else. And I just don't feel that way because I feel like, and I don't feel like it's a shameful thing for me. I just feel like I'm satisfying myself and that's not something
Sure.
I don't think I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. I mean, okay, number one, the Bible's not real clear on it, to be honest.
Right.
There is some, you know, a couple references. One, I do think it's a sin. I do think it's wrong. Again, sin to me, missing the mark. So it's not, you know, it's not the best you can do. So Jesus says if you lust after a woman in your mind's eye, you commit adultery in your heart, and you're going to have a hard time climaxing. I'm trying to think of the word without imagining someone or something. So number one, there's that. And then, you know, I do believe a thought leads to an action. An action leads to a habit. A habit leads to a character. Character leads to a destiny. So everything starts with the thought. So the best thing to do is to not do it, obviously. It is, in my opinion, better than dragging someone else into your sin, you know. There's numerous benefits to no fat. I don't know if y'all ever heard of no fat. So like after 7 days of not releasing, you get a spike in like testosterone, and it can be used for creative purposes. Like I talked about sex transmutation in the book, so you can use that energy for other things if you can redirect it. So like whatever it is, you know, for you it might be your nonprofit or writing a book or whatever it is. Like you can use that energy for other things if you resist. Where was I going to go with that?
To do something else.
Yeah, so one thing, I know what I wanted to say. So one thing I did to overcome that, because it was, you know, it was a challenge, obviously. At some point you think you're like, well, who am I hurting? But I signed a covenant with God. So I read about it, and it was, you know, Job, I don't know if you know the story of Job where he says, I made a covenant with my eyes not to look lustfully at a maiden. So I wrote this covenant out where I said, hey God, you know, I'm struggling in this area, I need your help, and I'm going to make a covenant not to look lustfully at a woman or even hold a thought intentionally in my mind, which you could still masturbate that way, you know. And I said for this period of time. So you maybe, depending on where you're at, maybe you say 3 days, 1 day, maybe you say a week, whatever it is. Challenge yourself a little bit. And then you say, look, you know how hard this is for me, and I'm asking you to help me keep this promise And if I keep it, I want you to bless me greatly and open doors for me that no man can shut. But if I break it, I want you to punish me severely and fight against me with the sword of your mouth. And you sign it. And it's the gas and the brake. So for me, I did it, and it really helped me break some strongholds in my life in that area. Because I had City Fam, it was way too big for me. I was like, I don't even know what to do, how to build it. And I wanted God's help. And I also know how I felt after I masturbated. I just felt like a big piece of shit, basically. So I signed it, and I was like, God, help me, bless me, and help me build this organization. You know, if I keep this promise to you, and if I don't, punish me. So it was the gas because I wanted the blessing, and it was the break because I was afraid of the punishment. And I got up, I think I got up to like 6 months one time. So I kept extending it a little bit each time I did it. And I want to say I'm not 1,000%. I think I messed up before one or two, which is a little scary. But I would say that's just a tip that I use. I don't find a long-winded answer, but I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's God's best. Even though it's not completely clear in the Bible, I think that it will play out and spell trouble for you sometime in the future because you're feeding that animal, you know. And the thing is starve it. Starve that animal, you know, use that energy to become the best version of yourself. And then when you choose the right mate, get married and have all the sex. That's what I tell people. It's like, God's not against sex. He wants you to have more than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is just the way to do it.
It really is. Yeah. All that waiting.
So to get personal to the men,
Sure.
how many of you continue masturbating even in a relationship?
So I haven't been in a relationship. Well, I haven't been in a relationship, but like I've never been in love. So I'm hoping that that's not going to be a problem for me. I will say when I was in relationships in the past with females that I was not in love with, I did. You know, because to me it was like having sex with other people. You know, but that was also the result of not having a deep connection and doing everything wrong.
I think most of my friends who are married still do.
Right.
That's for another. I'm not judging it.
Right.
For
Yeah, because what if you do and think about your wife while you're doing it?
If you're thinking about your wife.
Yeah.
or you could just use another hand and then use somebody.
A stranger.
I love this. We get so. I love the fact that we
Those are
can
minor
talk
details.
about sex so openly and honestly. So, who has another question for Rob Walski? He's right here. Here's the sex doctor. Is that what they call you? The sex doctor?
I don't
I've
think
heard
so.
that. There's somewhere in here.
Started in Phoenix.
Now he is.
Well, you mentioned stuff about oxytocin clouding your judgment and having you make bad decisions. And from my understanding, orgasm releases oxytocin. So, like, when you masturbate, you're releasing oxytocin, therefore clouding the brain,
Right.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
For
about
life
how
in
that
general?
works with masturbation. You know what I mean?
Huh.
Because you're not bonding to another person. I don't know how that works.
I think you need to write a book on that.
Okay,
What's that?
I'll have to figure it out first.
On an energetic level.
Oh, on an energetic level, you might be. Okay. And I do, like even that they talk about with porn, they say it's the new tobacco. You know, there's so many negative consequences. It's linked to social anxiety disorder and depression. So apparently, you get this flood of dopamine when you look at porn. So I know not everybody that masturbates looks at porn, but if you do look at porn, you get this flood of dopamine in your brain that's very similar to heroin, they say. So your brain is trying to regulate. So what it does is it lowers the amount of dopamine receptors, and then it takes more stimulus just as you live your life to get the same amount of enjoyment, because you have less dopamine receptors. So, you know, like what I kind of challenge myself is like, okay, where can I get these dopamine hits from? Like, is it going to cause an adverse reaction later? So, like people, yeah, I feel like people want dopamine from lots of negative places, whether it's substances, alcohol, drugs, porn, whatever. But when you don't have those options, you have to go out and just have a conversation with somebody. You know, like laugh, You know what I mean? That releases dopamine as well, but and there's obviously no negative consequences to that as well. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Keep the things on mind. No negative consequences.
Does anybody disagree with anything? A lot of people disagree. Actually. It's usually a good conversation. Not some part you don't understand. Maybe
I think we're all so
gotta
much
take
on
a
board
car
with
for
the
a test
concept.
drive. None of that. Really? That's what I hear every time.
Yeah, well, no, we hear that on our
Gotta take a
test
car
drive.
for a test drive.
Yeah.
I posted maybe 15 times today and then turned around and deleted them in anger of women are just like 15-year-old boys too, you know, and just blah 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 blah, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta delete that, you know, because that's just gonna be wrong. People are gonna take it the wrong way, misunderstand the general statement. That is, I literally read it today and said, women have needs too. Sorry. So, women have needs too. Like seriously, I don't know if men really get that. I hear that all the time. Shannon, come on, let me rub your feet. Come on, let me do this. Oh, I'll give you the business deal if you give me this. Come on. And I'm like, up to here with it. At the point I'm gonna deck you. You know, but how would you handle that as a woman? Or how does that make you feel in you? You hear that all the time.
Well, so people criticize me a little bit, like usually women, because I say about the transfer of control, about on a base level, women want security and men want sex, and people get mad at me like sometimes, and I'm like, I'm not saying that women don't like sex too, because I know that women love sex, and it doesn't mean that men don't like security, because men like security too, but on a base level, like there's a reason that if you look at the sex trade industry, the customers are all men, you know what I mean? Whether they're buying other men or women, the men are the ones paying for the sex. Women ain't paying for sex. Now, I'm not saying there's not a few out there that do, but in general, you don't have to pay for sex. You know, it's just not the oldest profession is prostitution. And there's always women selling sex to men. You know, like so there is a difference in the sexes. But
I don't know either. I
don't know. I was going to say something after that, and I lost it. So.
Who else has something controversial in mind? Or are you just thinking, you know, I just think this could work.
What's your definition of sex?
Good question.
Yeah, no. People ask, so like, what about oral? I'm like, to me, it's still sin. Number one. Number two, you're still in danger of falling into the sex trap, right, with that person, because there's definitely going to be hormones being released. And number three, even at best, the best case scenario is you lose that person as a friend, right? Because I believe, and that's really what city families a lot of ways is together. There's power in together. The more friends that you can have, the better your life will be. It's just if you're rich, you're always going to have things. You got your birthday party, you know, you don't know if that girl could be the key to your breakthrough, you know? And if she's giving you something, a hand job, whatever, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know, I don't want to mess around with you anymore, I want to mess around with her. It doesn't matter if you were completely honest with her, if you didn't want a relationship, or just something serious, whatever, at the point that you stop, you're an innocent. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Guaranteed. She's gone, you're a jerk. So you're going to lose her as a friend. So I would say you got to keep really strong boundaries. Number one, because of that, but number two, because it's just so smart. Because you could very well start to feel obligated to that girl or guy, and then next thing you know, you feel like you have to commit to her. Which happens to a lot of guys. I'm sure you probably know. You'll be messing around with a girl, she's giving you sex, and you're like, look, I'm not looking for anything, I'm not looking for anything. You're giving her a stiff arm for 3 months, let's say, messing around with other girls when you can on the side, but she keeps coming around, putting up with your shit. And then guess what? You start feeling like, I'm kind of a scumbag. I really owe it to her to be her boyfriend. And you give her the commitment out of obligation. You're doing weird stuff. Happens all the time.
That's terrible.
Happens all the time.
I never heard the guy's perspective. That would suck.
All the time.
Yeah, it does happen, yes.
And the girl's now stuck in a relationship with a guy that was 1 foot in and 1 foot out. The only reason he's in is because she put up with his shit for a while, for a little longer than the last girls. You know, and you know, he can tell you that he's done it. I guarantee. Probably he can too. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you can too.
Don't speak for me. I've been in trouble doing that. So no, I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay. Yeah. Have you ever been? Have you had many partners?
No.
One or two? Three. Okay.
4.
Did you have sex with any of them fast?
No. I'm not wired that way.
No, that's great.
So it was strange growing up because what I saw around me was very different than the way biologically I was. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I learned about that about myself later. So if I don't have a deep emotional connection with a woman, I'd like to test her. It's totally that's awesome. That's how it works.
Rob, I know we've talked about this, and I feel like we've beat it to death. The thing is that so many people are in relationships having sex, and you decide that you want to just, go with this theory and try it out and see if you're supposed to be together. And what's the conversation? How does this work? And what do you, there's so much resilience to just having that conversation and taking a stand and stopping and starting over.
So, for me, it was okay. Initially, it was kind of for selfish reasons why I stopped because God told me about this girl, and I thought if I didn't have sex, he was going to bring it to me. So that's when I went the first 6 years, just believing God, trusting Him for this thing. Like when I rededicated, I was having sex with my girlfriend at the time, and God started convicting me of the sex that was coming out. So we were messing around, we were about to have sex, and I said, let me put some music on. I got the remote, and I everything above 400 in Baltimore on cable was a music station. So I did 411 because it was just fast to live on. I was like, oh, for a second. So 411 was a gospel station. I'm like, hold on a second. I went down one station. It was old school R&B. I remember it clearly. And the very first lyrics were, "Temptation's gonna get me every time." So not long after that, so the first thing is, God was working on me about sex, and I was like, God, look, basically the devil comes in right away with fear. He's like, if you stop having sex with your girlfriend, you're going to be a whore again. That would be worse. This is better. And I dismissed that. I decided to listen anyway. It was a reasonable argument, though. I dismissed it. I said, look, God, I'm going to try this your way. Now, me and that girl had broken up a bunch of times. I want to say like 15 or 20. Sex was good, terrible relationship. So I said, God, look, I'm going to try this your way. And if I'm in love, I want you to convince me. Because I was thinking maybe I was with the girls. Even though we broke up a lot, we had a really good stretch. And I was like, look, I'm going to try this your way, God. I said, if I'm in love, I want you to convince me I'm married. But if I'm not in love, I want you to convince me of that and break us up. Because we obviously can't do it ourselves. So I went to her and I said, I don't know if we're built to last. I didn't say I don't know if we're in love because I felt like that was hurtful, but I didn't know. I said, I don't know if we're built to last. And I said, I feel like the way to find out is when she's not having sex. We both become convinced we get married. We become convinced that we're not in love the same way she's and it was like, she wasn't really all that on board, really. She was like kind of reluctant to it, but she knew I was serious. And she said, okay. And we stopped having sex. Now here's, in all honesty, we probably still had sex a few more times after that. Probably like 4 or 5 more times. Over the next couple months, even when we broke up, I think we might have done a couple times. But God knows I was trying. I was serious. But it gave us, but there was about 3 weeks where we didn't have any, and that gave her complete clarity. And her too. And she actually texted me and said, I don't ever want to get married before. She's like, I don't ever want to get married again. Great. She ended up started dating her neighbor a couple days, like literally a couple days. And now she doesn't flirt with her. Gone. God just took it. And I feel like there's a good answer right. So it's not easy to cut it off, but I tell people all the time, if you're already having sex, it works. It still works. This principle still works. All you gotta do is stop. But you have to have the marriage conversation with it, because it's not enough to stop having sex. It's not like a lot of people say, well, we haven't had sex in 6 months. I'm like, no, it's not enough. No, you have to have a conversation where you're like, look, if we're really in love, we're going to get married. Because then all of a sudden you put it under the microscope. You see if it's real. You know what I mean? And if it's not, but you also find the right person.
So if someone doesn't want to get married, but wants to wait and have sex for commitment or love, what would that kind of commitment or love look like if they don't
Why don't they want to get married?
I'm just asking.
If someone doesn't want to get married, this is what I always tell people: don't get hung up on the word marriage.
Yeah, let them know you're
Because they've seen so many people do it wrong that of course they don't want to get married. I mean, who would want marriage when you see what happens in this country? Now, remember, 97% of the people don't wait. So you're seeing everyone do it ass backwards, and you're going, well, I don't want that. No shit, you know. So I would say, what I always ask people when they say, well, what if I don't want to get married? I say, well, do you want a best friend that you're physically attracted to long term to help you reach your purpose in life? They go, yeah, I want that. Don't have sex until marriage, because it forces you to evaluate your heart to see if it's the right person. It's a completely selfish move. It just happens to be really hard.
Could you repeat that?
Sure.
I like what I heard.
She said, what if someone doesn't want to get married? And I said, don't get hung up on the word marriage, because everyone's seeing everyone else do it wrong. So especially the younger generation, they don't want to get married because they've seen their parents and everybody else do it wrong, and it's a mess. And especially if somebody gets married, they go, I don't want to ever get married again, because it feels like death, divorce. That is, I hear. But I'm like, well, did you wait? Like, no. Okay. You know what I mean? You put the batter on the icing on the cake before you stuck it in the oven, and you wonder why it didn't turn out. There's a reason that God told us to do it this way. So I say to people that say they don't want to get married, I say, well, how would you like a best friend that you're physically attracted to long term? Not short term, because that's easy to get physically attracted short term. But physically attracted to long term that will help you reach your purpose in life. They go, yeah, I want that. Have sex until marriage. Because it would be the same as, again, marriage it's a socially accepted, thing. If I was to say, hey, Riley, you can have sex with my sister, but if you decide that you don't want to have sex with her anymore and you want to go take care of somebody else and have sex with them, I'm going to cut your head off. It's the same thing. Because Riley would go, well, shit, I better make sure I'm choosing the right girl here. It's the same thing. It's just marriage is the one we accept. It would cause us pain if we choose wrong. So, like, you look at the whole test drive a car thing. And again, people say that. I'm like, well, would you test sit milk before you bought it? And then put it back on the rack if you didn't like it? Who's gonna buy that? Like, you literally lower the value, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what we want to do, because as men, and we'll say and do anything. Not all men, obviously, but to have sex without commitment, because it's like, and we may even mean it when we say it, which is what I tell people is the worst part, because you might think like you're in love, baby, I'm like breathing heavy, I love you. Let's have sex. I love you. I want to be with, and you might mean it when you say it. But when you sign the contract, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. Riley, will you ask your question that you asked earlier about how long to wait to get engaged or whatever?
Yeah, how long would you recommend?
So I talked to a friend. Actually, I heard this advice from a pastor, and he said, long dating period, short engagement. So basically, the dating period is to figure out if you believe that they're the right person. But once you know they're the right person, why wait? Like, just get married. You don't have to be engaged forever. I think 6 months to a year from the time I met the person. I can't see myself dating for more than a year. Like, if you know, you know. I would say, how long have you been dating your girl? Years? And if you don't know, then don't. Just continue to date. If you're still like feeling it out or not 100% convinced.
Your city fan group in Maryland.
Yes.
how much of that ends up being people coming on board just trying to find somebody, and how many people have actually found somebody within City Fam?
So, a lot of people that are waiting go into City Fam. We try not to push people from City Fam to waiting because that honestly is the wrong direction because that closes the door on a lot of people. If we saw them become the abstinent group, like that's not going to be the minutes. So, but it does trickle down to people, obviously, the values. But you know, people come in and I think they're trying to manage the weight. A lot of them are, you know, wanting to become the best version of themselves, wanting to find love, so, but they're very also cautious. So when I used to be a nightclub promoter, I had a company. But when everybody was hooking up, everybody was dating and hooking up real quickly, and it was a mess. City Fam is like the handful. Everybody respects the values the relationship so much that they're very cautious about getting involved.
Plus these kids were all going out of work, so we're all. I'm here. I'm hanging out with.
But people develop crushes all the time with each other. It's just human. But it's not a dating site. Sometimes people see the pictures of girls and they're like, wow, I'm out. And then they realize, oh, okay, this isn't that kind of place, and the culture just kind of weeds them out, which is nice. Does that answer your question?
But how many, have there been any
Oh.
couples that have?
So Billy and Arianna is the first real City Fam marriage, and I was there, and they met.
Yeah, I saw your Instagram stuff.
Yeah, they met at a game night, and a girl brought her over. It wasn't even an official City Fam event. It was just at Billy's house. We had a game night, and you know, he liked her immediately, and she didn't like him for like 2 years. And I had to always listen to him complain about that. I don't want to date her, you know. And one day, God just changed her heart. And we were on a relief trip together, all of us. We went to Nicaragua, and I just saw something happen. Like, we just stuck together like glue all week. She was kind of just sitting by him. I was like, huh, that's interesting. And then next thing I know, he called me up. He's like, so I'm taking Arianna on a date. So now they got married, and I was in the wedding. It was awesome. It was really good. I cried all the time.
How are they doing?
Saw the whole thing play out. I was like, it was just so right. Like, you know, like no, I knew it, and I wrote a book about it, but to see it, you know, like he just, you know, prepared his house for her, and all that, everything he did leading up to, you know, everything that we did while he waited for her. We started a nonprofit. You know, it was awesome. He became the best version of himself, and then, you know, now they're in it. I'm sure they're having lots of sex. You know? But they're great. They're really great, and it gave everybody in the group a lot of hope. You know, to see it work. You know?
That's terrific.
Well, we can go ahead and maybe talk a little bit about City Fam. Does anybody have any questions about City Fam? Specifically, like what it's about, or did everybody get it? Okay, good. It's really, it's a social community. You know, personally, when I was making positive changes, I found myself sitting around alone a lot, not really knowing what to do. I would go to church on Sundays, and then I was like 6.5 days a week. I was just, you know, going to the movies or Redbox movies, trying to avoid trouble, and because the people that I really related to weren't in the church. Those people I didn't relate to that well, they were in the bars. And then occasionally I would go out to the bars because I would get bored, and then I would drink too much, or I would, you know, do something that would make me feel regretful the next day. I ended up staying in for 3 more months until the next time I just got burnt out being alone. So I went through that really, I don't know what you would call it, but it was just a rough road. And eventually, started organizing social events, kind of for selfish reasons, but also because I saw people in the bars that were making bad decisions that maybe didn't want to be making bad decisions, but they were like, didn't have any options for like, well, they didn't want to stay at home alone. So I started, you know, me and Billy started organizing social events to give my normal friends, a lot of them that love Jesus, but normal, something to do. And when the two people met, we really started to see people's lives start to change, because the people that were making bad decisions now started making better decisions. because they were around a better group of people. So it eventually became city family. We started volunteering together, and now it's become this movement. But it really it just makes doing the right thing about as fun as it can be. You know,
With like-minded people.
yeah.
The
It's
power
like,
in numbers.
it shouldn't be. There shouldn't be a separation between doing the right thing and having a good time, which is
Right.
what I really experienced. Where I was like, when I started making the right decisions, happened twice. Life got really boring and lonely, and I was like, I want to be around people that I can relate to, but I don't want to feel guilty on Monday. I don't want to be held back or take any steps back from reaching my goals and my full potential. So it's like, hey, let's still have a good time. Let's push the envelope all the way up to the edge. I mean, I throw the biggest New Year's Eve party in Baltimore, so I'll push it up to the edge. You know, I'll make people in my church probably uncomfortable with a lot of the things I do, but at the same time, because it's so edgy, we reach people because we go to the edge where they're at, instead of going way far away and saying, stay up here, don't go to those places because they're dangerous. Like, well, if we go together, they're really not that dangerous. You know what I mean? So we can all go to the bar, we can go line dancing, we can go do karaoke after this or whatever and have a good time. We can have more fun than those people because their brokenness will play out at some point. It'll play out, and the next thing you know, they'll be alone, because that's what the enemy does. Is he gets us to act in ways that divide us. You know, use each other, degree, like offend each other, whatever it is, and the next thing you know, you're alone, and then he can really destroy your life because he can beat you up when you're by yourself. But when you're together, it's a lot harder to get us. It's almost like that pack of gazelles or something, like they said, or enemy runs around like a roaring lion. He can't get you with a group. You know, it's when you stray off by yourself that you can get attacked.
Hey Rob, someone watching has a question.
Sure.
It's Patricia in our group, actually. She can't be here, but she said, what about seniors 60 plus? Time is of the essence. So what advice would you have for this age group?
Okay, so seniors apparently are hooking up a lot.
They
Because they know that time's running out, I'm having a good time. Well, I've heard that at the nursing homes especially. There's some freaking out there, but that's beside. I mean, God knows how much time you got left. You don't want to be desperate. You know, you don't want to enter into the whole dating situation from a position of weakness where you're like, people are going to smell desperation on you, number one, but number two, you're gonna choose out of that. You know, like I always say, dating out of loneliness is like going to the grocery store hungry. You know, you're going to choose something you don't want, but then that can't satisfy you long term. There's a reason they put the chips in the front aisle, right?
Yeah.
So I would say, pump the brakes, and it works just the same. I don't think it matters if you're older or younger, but I don't know if that answers your question.
It might, I'll have to ask.
All right, sorry. Anybody else? All right, yeah, let's close it out.
All right.
All right, thank you all so much.
Thank you. Awesome. Thanks for writing the book.
Of course.
Giving us all a new viewpoint, a new norm. We appreciate all this, just so much.